everyone and welcome back. So this here is my 2014 Toyota Camry. I bought this thing about a year and 4 months ago, and I think I've probably put on 30 to 40,000 miles on it, just roughly. In the last little bit, the alternator has started to make some noise. The bearings are starting to go out. The odometer on this car is sitting right around 162,000 miles, so she still has plenty of life left, but the alternator I think is probably original, and it's definitely past its time. So today we actually had to bring Kenna in for her spay, and that's, let's see, that was 200. We put on 240 miles today, and with the job that I just took, I'm going to be driving 120 plus miles per day back in round trip. So I need to make sure that the alternator doesn't give up on this thing while I'm heading into work. So it just so happened the town that we had to drive to had a Napa, which works out well, and I was able to get this reman Napa alternator, and we're gonna put it in tonight and hopefully fix our groaning noise that's happening underneath here. So originally I was going to rebuild this alternator, but I dragged my feet on it to the point where now I don't have 2 weeks worth of time to get the parts and then another couple days to put it back in. So I bought this reman one through Napa. It was $200. It was like $208, and then there's a $70 core. But that's fine. We'll bring this in and get our $70 back, and then I won't have to worry about it. But this should be pretty easy. Seems like every single vehicle I buy, I have to put an alternator in it, and at this point, I feel like it's a job that I'm pretty capable of doing. All right. So first things first, we got to work this belt off of here. There's a tensioner that's kind of hiding here. I actually replaced this tensioner one time. It was groaning as well, but this one here I bought is kind of a cheaper one, and it's kind of, I don't much care for it, so I'll be buying another tensioner here shortly. But we got that serpentine belt off, and now we have to disconnect the electrical and a couple bolts, and then this thing just comes right out. They're very nice at Toyota for putting it right on top. After that belt is remove the negative on this battery here so that we don't have any power going to anything. Might as well remove the positive too, just to be extra safe. Alright, so now we just have to unclick this one electrical connector, and this one will actually kind of throw you off because it looks like it clicks from this back side, but you actually push in on the side tab and it pulls out that way. So you can unclick this and it'll reveal the wires, but there's a side push here that comes off a little bit easier. And then right here you can see we got this rubber boot one. This is your hot. So that one nut, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be a 10 mil. Let's take a peek here. Yeah, so it's a 10 mil behind that rubber boot, and we're gonna get that removed as well. And that should be it for electrical. So now on our alternator, we gotta remove this one bolt that's right there on the top, and then looking down here, there's another one right down there. So the top goes through, and then the bottom one is right there, and that would be 14 mil. And I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but let me tell you guys something. I hate Milwaukee with passion. They're just the batteries. Milwaukee's good, but the batteries are junk. fight half. Which way you want to come out? This side of it? Sure. There we go. Beauty. Okay. So like I suspected, this bad boy has the original Toyota sticker on the top. So she is 162,000 miles on one alternator. That's incredibly good life. Now you can just look at it, you can see this is kind of burnt and gunky. I mean, that's just wear as time goes on. But the sad part about it is if I had more time, I could just rebuild this. You know, I would need 2 weeks to get the parts and half a day to put the parts in. I don't have that. I need this car to run. That's just the way it goes. So I can show you though how much play we got going on here. If you watch the end here, hopefully that can kind of show on camera. But she's loose. She's gritty. And you can see that this actually is kind of out of straight. So she's done. The bearings are toasted, and that's just the way it is. Here's our new one. All the mounting holes line up nice. We got the connectors at the same points. The only thing I have to move over is this one bracket and put it on this one, and we'll be set. But yeah, this one here is just that squeaking is from inside. So that's what we were hearing. But that's all right. That's good life out of one alternator. I'm pretty happy with that. So now we just got to remove our bracket. Put it on this one. Just another 10 millimeter, no big deal. It's easy as that. Let's get this thing mounted, and hopefully it will give us good life. Alright, so we're going to fish the new one in, just like how the old one came out. I did disconnect this top little sensor. I believe that's for the timing chain. But super simple. Use your junk Milwaukee to try to get the bolt started. You're going to want to torque this down to a oomph pound, which is oomph. There we go. And then make sure that you say, that ain't going nowhere. Works every time. Okay, so now we just have to reconnect all of our electrical. We got the new alternator in, we got the belt put back on, we got all the connections put back on the alternator and up top here, and we got the battery hooked back up. So now is the moment of truth to see if it sounds any better. old alternator put in this box here, and tomorrow when I bring this back in, I'll get $77 back. The alternator itself was $206, and then the $77 on top of it was for the core. And what they'll do with this alternator is they'll put the new bearings and brushes in it, shine it up real pretty, and they'll put it back in the box, and they'll sell it for $206 to the next person. So I wish I had time to take it all apart and do all that, but at this point I can't have a day where I don't have the ability to go. So it just is what it is. And regardless though, I've put an alternator in the Camry, the Dodge Grand Caravan, the Ford Focus wagon, the Ford Escort, Mazda CX-5, and I feel like I might be missing one or two vehicles in there, but of all of those vehicles, the Toyota hands down was way easier. There's more room in there to get at it, and it took me about a half hour recording it, so I could probably do it in 20 minutes if I wasn't recording it. Super simple job, for sure. I think most people could tackle an alternator quite easily. But yeah, overall, you know, the Camry's been good for me. We put some miles on it. I had to do the brake caliper on the passenger side because it was getting sticky. An alternator and the tensioner. Got a new alternator in this car, and hopefully it doesn't give us any grief for a long time. I believe these have some sort of warranty on them. You know, like 1 year or something like that. But overall, simple enough. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.